Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Do me wrong, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to back. If I top the top, then a double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah, I beat my own records. Yeah, I gotta get money fetish. Same team, I don't set trip. Never dull, this electric. Went and put the rigs on my toes. Me and bro, that's the giving goal. Stay 100, end zone, end zone. Keep them coming. I know. I won't flood my wrist, no, I'm not dumb like that. I just wanna give my mama 100. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. If I top the top, then the double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah,
What up? Welcome to the show.
Yo.
Live in effect. Welcome to the show, episode 40. Time to go hard or go home, baby. Episode 40, the Bottom Line Sports. Like, share, do all that good stuff. Appreciate you. Hey, we're up to 908 members. Appreciate all the new members on the sports. On our Facebook page, we got a YouTube one that just does this show. If you want to go there, help us out over there. You can go over there and do that. But we appreciate you. Welcome to the show. It's time to do some Bottom Line Sports. We're going to talk about a few things. If you got a good topic you want us to talk about, put it in the chat. Maybe we'll talk about it. We'll give you our opinions about it. That's what we're about. We're an opinions show, an opinions show. Yeah, we just talk about whatever. A lot of times.
Let's get it
All
going,
right, man.
bro.
Is it warmed up over there?
40 degrees out, sun shining, so that's perfect weather for me.
Okay. Did all the
I
snow
go
melt?
outside with short. Nah, it's a little bit of snow. It's supposed to be
So
another
some
storm
snow.
heading. So,
Oh, another storm? Another storm there up in New York. Yeah.
bro,
Appreciate you. Yeah. So, share, like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want on this. But first of all, let me bring this up. A lot of stuff happened since the last show. A lot of things going on.
Man,
It's crazy.
you know what? I'm kind of glad.
I'm
kind of glad that we did that show Monday night, man. The other night.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Really glad we did that one.
Yeah. So let me share this real quick because everybody's talking about, of course, Damar Hamlin, what happened the other day. So we'll share that. So this is the last thing we got from Damar Hamlin. It says Damar Hamlin FaceTimed our team. Buffalo Bills put this out a couple days ago to the coaches, and he said that he wants to say "love you, boys." He flexes his muscle, like a flex, and so it's good to see him up and around. So prayers and thoughts and prayers still are with Damar Hamlin and his family. I'm glad that he's doing and recovering slowly but surely. All the prayers that have been put up for him, appreciated. I'm sure everybody appreciates it. a lot of contributions to his. I think it's a toy drive for kids or
Toy
something.
drive was crazy,
So
man.
So a blessing coming out of this, despite the bad thing that happened on Thursday night. So, a lot of stuff happening. That whole thing with that, you said you were a little kind of confused or upset about how they're handling, as far as for the playoffs, what happened, because they're not going to play that game. Obviously, they're not going to make it up anyhow. And
Right.
we're talking about how tell me what you were saying about how you didn't like all that.
Yeah, man. So the whole thing of the season, imagine if Buffalo or whoever would have won that game, that would have set Buffalo apart from Cincinnati. But right now, the game didn't exist. So I guess they're going to just say it's a tie. And then you Chiefs, which are in the driver's seat. So if the Chiefs win today, they're going to take it there. The likelihood of everything, I'm hoping the Bills finish second. That means that the Bills are the 7-seeded team. And at this point, the 7-seeded wild card team, I think, is let me check, man.
You want me to bring it up
On the screen for us, man. That 7 seed. The Bills still get a
I'll
home
bring it up,
game.
see what it is right now. Okay, hang on. Let me bring it up on the screen here.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. You keep talking, but
So I'm okay with the Bills getting second place, but I would much, man. The Bills are made up, man. I would much rather them get a bye, bring out a big home crowd. But I always get nervous about the Bills when they get on the road in the playoffs.
So right now, KC's number one.
KC's one.
So they didn't get penalized necessarily because you didn't rack up a loss, but you didn't also get a win.
Right.
For Buffalo and Cincinnati. There's really no easy way of doing that. When you have to miss a game. It's never had to happen. And I think there's ever been, where you're performing CPR on a player on the field either. So this is kind of unprecedented. This is kind of uncharted waters for the NFL. So I think they're trying to do the best that they can. I think if KC and Buffalo end up playing in the AFC Championship, it's neutral. I think the same thing for KC and the Bengals. I think it'll be a neutral field. And then I think if Buffalo and Bengals, it's a coin flip or something like that. I don't know. I know it's something like that.
How do you determine if the Bengals lose tomorrow and the Bills lose, they'll both be 12-4. I guess they'll take that winning for second seed, right?
Yeah, I think the only way it changes is if one of those top three teams, if two of those top three teams end up playing each other, that's the only way that there's a home field neutral site kind of thing comes into play. If the Bengals don't make it, if it's Baltimore or the Chargers or even the Jaguars, that doesn't come into play. It's only if Buffalo and KC and the Bengals end up playing each other, which could happen.
Yeah.
They're all top seeds. They got good teams. Those are your favorites. Basically, your top three teams in the AFC, those are your favorites anyway. So, it's kind of a mess. But what are you gonna do? There's obvious you couldn't keep playing that game with Damar Hamlin, having to save his life. There's no way they could have played that game. So, what happened?
Yeah, sorry about that, bro. My phone went out.
But there's no way they can play that game. So let us know what you think. What do you think about the playoffs, the way they have it set up? I think it's all neutral. There are a lot of neutral sites, things like that. It's kind of, there's no easy way to fix that. And then, go ahead.
No. Like I said, there's no easy way to fix it. And they kind of,
right.
I'm hoping that Buffalo's able to rebound and regain their confidence like they need to play in spite of what's happened over the past week or so.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so let me shut that off. But anyway, that's what we have right now. We'll talk a little more NFL here in a little bit. But, we're thankful for all the prayers for Damar Hamlin. I'm sure he's thankful. I'm sure his family's thankful. And continue prayers for him. That everything, if you're a praying kind of person, do that. And hopefully he'll be okay. He'll continue to recover. I'm sure it's going to be a while before he's back on the field. But they're going to wear a special number. I guess the Bills are going to wear a number 3 on their jersey.
The 3 packs.
And yeah, so that's pretty nice. The Bengals have been really good about it. You know, the NFL is trying to do their best, I guess, to make do without having to redo that game. So you know, it's a tough one. So, but anyway, before we go into more in the NFL, what about the national championship is on Monday?
Woo!
Georgia playing TCU. That's your team. The Georgia Bulldogs playing TCU. Yeah, Georgia's 12.5-point favorites, but we know Georgia never covers, right? So you know it's not going to win by 12. So what? You know this, right? Yeah, put it in the chat. Yeah. Hey, tell us in the chat what you think. Who's going to win this game? You know, any topics you guys want to talk about, let us know. Share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We appreciate you. Go ahead.
Right now, the spread's at 12.5, man.
12.5. Didn't that seem a little high?
Is the spread. 6.
Don't you
go 6.5, 6.5, 7 on the spread.
I mean, Georgia's a favorite. I could see that, but 12.5 seems a little disrespectful. To me, that kind of adds fuel to the fire for TCU, saying, man, they don't respect us at all. They're basically saying Georgia's going to blow us out. So to me, that adds fuel to TCU's already a team that doesn't think nobody respects them. And now I feel like that adds a little fuel to their fire. Max Duggan has been playing very well. Go ahead.
Really well, man. When you look at Dugan's numbers, 253 for 390, 546 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Right.
Stetson Bennett, 429, 3,823 yards.
Right. 23
touchdowns. I mean,
you go
the receiver that you got. Johnson.
Yeah.
The kid is back.
Yeah, Johnston's a bad boy. Was it Quentin Johnston? He's a bad boy, man. They got some good receivers. They got a bunch of good receivers. They got they got some good secondary. I think you guys are going to have trouble throwing it. Y'all might get a couple of chunk plays, but TCU's been all year kind of that bend, don't break defense all year. They've been that kind of bend, don't breaks, and so you might get some chunk plays here and there, but for the most part, I think they're going to play you tough. I think you guys are going to have a hard time.
TCU front four. Their front four. Their front four.
Yeah. They get a lot of pressure.
Michigan out. Put a lot of pressure on Michigan.
Right. Especially towards the end of the game.
Was shut down.
Right. Yeah. So, like I'm saying, I think it's going to be a tough outing for you guys. I think 12 points is a little much. I think it adds fuel to the Horned Frogs' fire. Right. No, I know you said 6, but I'm saying that's what they're saying right now. I feel like that's going to get bedded down a little bit. I think a lot of people are going to take TCU for 12.5, and that might come down slightly by the time they kick off on Monday. So that's Monday, 7 p.m. Let us know who you're going to think, who you think is going to win that game. Should be a pretty good game. Like I said, TCU is always, they got a chip on their shoulder. Georgia, I mean, they're trying to repeat. This will be the first time. You guys have never repeated, right?
Yeah, man.
Who was the last one to repeat?
Alabama.
Was it Alabama a few years ago?
I think Alabama repeated, I think, 2011 and 12.
Yeah, so this will be the first repeat in a while. It's tough to repeat in this era, the CFC era. So it should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm part of me, the Big 12 team. I'm pulling for TCU a little bit, but I wouldn't be disappointed either one wins. I feel like TCU's been a little disrespected, so I kind of feel, you like to pull for the underdog. A lot of times, you know how I feel. You do.
I'm the underdog puller.
Georgia ain't no underdog.
I'm saying you going with the underdog.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm going with the underdog. I think you guys are going to win this game. It's going to be close. It's going to be just like the last two games.
We won't cover the spread. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, you won't cover the 12.5. I don't even think it'll be double digits. It's gonna be a 3 or 4 point game. That's what I'm feeling. I think you guys are gonna pull it out. You guys got enough on defense. I think you guys are gonna have just enough on defense to pull it out, and I think TCU is gonna fall a little short. But it's gonna be a good game. I feel like it's gonna be a really good game. For you, that's not good because your heart's gonna be stopping at different places. You guys are gonna be down, then you get back up, and then you're gonna be down, and then so it's gonna be a.
But
it's gonna be a good game.
You run your mouth.
What are you talking about?
You always come out running your mouth.
What are you talking about? Running my mouth, man. What are you talking?
Always.
I'm just saying it's gonna be a close game.
Text me. I told you this, that, the fourth, the fifth.
Me texting you. You texting me. What are you talking about? You be texting me. You text me. You the first one to text me, man.
Bro, I told you last week. You up there you worried.
All right, let us know what you think. That's gonna be a good game, man. You got any NBA stuff you want to talk about before we move on to some NFL stuff?
Man, I saw an NFL thing the other night. Do not sleep on Donovan Mitchell. That kid shot 70 points the other night, man.
Yeah, he did. 70. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell, 71 points. He's playing well. The Cavs are playing well right now. I think they're what?
Bro, when you look at standings, hey man,
it's close. They're like 2 games from the first place to 4th place. It's only like 2 games. Right.
Celtics, net, Bucks, Cavaliers, 2.5, 2-1.
Even though you can throw the Sixers in there. The Sixers are doing pretty well. They're tied basically with Cavs.
Knicks look pretty
the
good,
East is
man.
definitely the East right now feels like a stronger conference right now.
My teams that have disappointed me. The Heat have definitely disappointed. DeMar DeRozan, the Bulls, those guys.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're meshing well or the Bulls kind of tapered off and they kind of failed and took a.
Miami's starting to creep up though. Miami's starting to creep up a little bit. They're number 8 now, so they're starting to play better.
Yeah.
New York's kind of been a surprise at number 16.
But the Hawks keep tapering.
The Hawks
have so
the Hawks have been a disappointment for sure, considering they were challenging for the Eastern Conference Finals just a couple years ago. They were right Hawks, there. Yeah.
So like,
who knows if the Hawks can? It hadn't and Trae Young been hurt a lot. He's been hurt quite a bit.
He's been banged up pretty bad.
Missed quite a few games. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I mean it feels almost I say the East is the better conference, but it just feels like maybe both conferences are a little more like both of them are pretty deep. It feels like both conferences have, because a lot of years, back and forth, you say, well, the East is harder, the West is tougher, and you've always had that kind of go back and forth. The West was stronger back in, the 80s, and then the East was stronger back in the 90s, and you kind of went back and forth. But it feels like this is one of the few years where it feels like both conferences are pretty deep. You feel like your top 4 or 5 teams.
They're playing pretty but like I told you, we talked about this earlier in the year, and like, man, we're getting closer and closer to the All-Star break. It's crazy for having an All-Star game in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is the craziest thing going through their mind.
Why?
Going to Utah to have the All-Star game. Crazy.
Why is that crazy?
Bro.
What?
I mean, I'll go, how about Houston, Philly? Go to like a Utah. It is.
Go like a what? Go to like a what?
I mean, Utah, Salt Lake City, but it may be hitting.
I mean, they've had, it's not like they have never had it there before. It's not like they never had them there before. So I mean, they got to rotate it. Every team's got to kind of get a shot at it. I mean, I don't remember it ever being in Toronto. Have you? I think it's been there, but it's been a while.
Probably been a long time.
Yeah, I don't even remember it being in Houston anytime recently.
Houston. Now let me ask you this question,
or even San Antonio.
Right, when we look at the West, man, you got the Nuggets. The Grizzlies are a game. Pelicans 2 games. Mavericks 4. Do you think the Trailblazers, Clippers, and the Suns, or the Jazz? Well, I mean, the teams that just named Clippers, Trailblazers, Suns, all those guys are in the playoffs. But do you see one of the teams that used to be premier, like the Suns or the Jazz or the Clippers? Do you forecast seeing them making a run and getting into the top 4 at this point in the season?
I feel like if Kawhi stays healthy, I feel like the Clippers may be that team. He's kind of working his way back in slow, but they when they're both on the floor, when you got PG and Kawhi Leonard on the floor, it feels like it's a different team. I feel like they're going to start to get it together. All this is probably going to shake out after the All-Star break. You'll start seeing teams separate a little bit. I feel like your top 5 or 6 teams are going to separate, and then you're going to kind of get those play-in teams to settle in. Those teams, I don't know if Phoenix can dig out of their hole. It's possible. I mean, they got a lot of veteran leadership. They got a lot of players that have been there before. They've had some injury problems. So Phoenix is probably the only other team I could see making a push to move in that top 4 or 5 teams. But I feel like the Clippers have the best chance right now of the teams that have been favorites in the past, because who has it been lately, right? It's been Golden State, Clippers, Phoenix, maybe even Utah you could put in there. But yeah, right now it's like Memphis was coming up a couple years ago. We kind of saw them coming. New Orleans, they did play really well without Zion last year, and I told you this year they're going to make a push with Zion if Zion stays healthy. So they're in 3rd place. So we kind of saw that coming. But yeah, it's not your typical Western Conference powerhouses that are in there. Like you said, you got Denver, Memphis, and New Orleans, and Dallas are your top 4. Dallas has started to improve. They were struggling early in the year. Of course, Luka Doncic making a case for MVP this year with his numbers.
Done well.
So he's making a case, right? He does a lot for them. I think the team's starting to play better together. They're starting to give him some help, and I think that's helped the Mavericks a little bit. Where Luka doesn't have to do everything, and I think some of the other role players have started to help him, carry some of that load. But that's kind of how I feel. I feel like the Clippers are going to be that team that maybe makes a push into that top 5 or 6 after the All-Star.
Now, do you think if
go ahead.
Steph Curry comes back, can Steph Curry make a great impact? Because
Warriors. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because they were struggling even when Steph was there. They're kind of in the same spot. They were in that bottom 7, 8, 9 even when Steph was
there. Yeah.
So I don't know how much better he's gonna make them. I mean, of course, I think they'll be a better team. Anytime you get Steph Curry back, you're gonna be a better team. But I don't know what it's been with them. I haven't seen a lot of the games, so I don't know why they're struggling so much. I mean, they're doing better. Now that it's out, they've actually moved up in the standings. I mean, I think they were like 9 or 10 when Steph got hurt. Now they're number 6. So they're starting to play better as a team. So maybe when Steph comes back, he gives them a boost. You know what I'm saying? If they're playing better. So the All-Star break is going to be a key going into the All-Star break. How are the teams playing? And then coming out of that All-Star break, what happens. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Golden State could be a team that moves up a little bit, makes a push towards the end of the season, depending on when Steph comes back. What does he got? Another few weeks before he comes back?
Yeah, probably after the All-Star break. I'm hoping before the All-Star break.
Right. Okay. All right. Let us know what you think. Who do you think's gonna make a push going into the All-Star break for the NBA? NBA is gonna kick off soon as the NFL starts wrapping up. Everybody's gonna start talking NBA more. But the NFL is knee deep into going into the playoffs. So yeah, it's heavy NFL. The last week of the NFL season. A lot of key matchups. Any key matchups you want to talk about? First of all, let's talk about the Bengals and the Ravens game. But let's also talk about the storyline there that Lamar Jackson hasn't played for them. I think he had a PCL.
Maybe 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, and I think he's practiced with them, or he hadn't even practiced with them for a while. Do you see, at first they were like, he's going to come back, he's doing better. Now they don't even want to hardly talk about it. Coach John Harbaugh kind of avoided the question, hey, we're going to go out there with who we got. Is this, you think, is part of the contract negotiation when they couldn't settle on a contract at the beginning of the season? Lamar's,
you know what,
trying to show them, hey, this is what you are without me. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't even think it's the whole contract negotiation. In my honest opinion, I think Lamar Jackson should have an agent. Lamar Jackson should have signed it. Now he's injured.
Right.
He's injury prone. He's injury prone. There's no owner, GM, or whoever I am at the Baltimore Ravens organization. I'm not going to give him a big offer for his history of being injured. He hadn't played in at least 5-6 games. Pretty decent record at 10-6.
But you see, when they're not playing, they've been struggling when he's not there, though. So he's showing how valuable he is. Now, could this be here? Here's my thought. Is Lamar Jackson not wanting to play because if you look at it, you can look at it this way: if Lamar could say, if I come back and we either get pushed out, we make a quick exit out of the playoffs, and I'm not fully 100% and I don't play well, that's going to affect my contract negotiations because they said, well, he didn't play well. He got kicked out of the playoffs the last few years. That's one thing. He could be looking at that. But then if he waits out, maybe they say, hold on, man, we really need him. We played terrible. The playoff game was terrible. We need to make sure we hold on to Lamar Jackson and give him a contract because, we can't make it without him. He's one of the key pieces of our offense. So you think Lamar Jackson is using this as part of a negotiation tool, showing the Ravens how much they need him? And if he is that a mistake because it's showing that he can't be counted on in the postseason? In time,
he can't be counted on in times that they really, really need it. Tomorrow, I forecast that it's going to be
well, he's already out tomorrow, so.
Yeah,
you think he's going to play in the playoffs? Game. I think he plays in the playoffs. That's my opinion, but
I think so. If the season ends today, the Ravens got to go play next weekend at Orchard Park.
Right.
I think it'll be tough, man. I think if he comes back,
they got to play in Cincinnati,
if Jackson comes back and makes a presence in the playoffs, and they can get past the first round, maybe get to the Noise. I think he's in. They're gonna lock him in for a nice deal.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal, though. The Ravens, obviously, if the Ravens were sold on him, they would have signed him before the season. That's my opinion. The guy, the guys who people are sold on, Mahomes, they signed him. Bam, they signed him. Josh Allen, he got signed. Bam. Even Kyler Murray, bam, they signed him because if they truly believe that the Ravens were sold on Lamar Jackson, I think they would have signed him before the season started.
Right.
I think they're still leery of whether it be his injury history, whether it be, hey, can we continue to win can Lamar last? Playing this way for 5-6 years, is it even possible?
Right.
I mean, can he play at this, especially running the ball, is because that's half his game. Can he play at this level for another 5 or 6 years? Or now that he's had a couple of knee issues, I think he has a knee issue this year. Is this going to, once he starts slowing down, is he going to be the same guy? I mean, obviously he won't be the same guy at running the ball, but can he adjust and become more of a pocket guy and be able to do that as a passer?
Yeah.
When he starts to lose, people who run, even running backs, that's why running backs don't last a long time because first thing to go is your legs, and once your legs go, you're just not as good a person. I mean, look at Zeke. His legs have gone. He still looks good. He can still play a little bit, but Zeke, he doesn't have that burst he used to have, and now we see that's affected him. Yeah, he doesn't have that burst, even though he still plays well, and he still can get a chunk yards every now and then, but he's just not the guy he was in his first 2 or 3 years. Once you lose your legs, I mean, that's going to compromise Lamar. And are the Ravens sold that he can keep that up for 4 or 5 years?
Quarterback he is.
Yeah.
To me, he's a dual threat. He's not a pocket passer. He's a dual threat. He runs the ball.
He's what you call a full-fledged dual-threat quarterback.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I guess him and Josh Allen are your only two guys that are like that. I mean, you could put Justin Fields now in that category.
I would say Kyler Murray as well, man. Kyler Murray ain't much of a pocket.
Kyler Murray, yeah. He actually throws a good ball. It's just he's just so small. Sometimes you can't see over the line. I think his problem is his height. Because he can move around. Usually when he moves around, he's trying to scramble and find somebody, right? He'll take off when he needs to, but he doesn't run like Lamar and Justin Fields and even Josh Allen. If you look at his rushing yards, they're not quite where they're at. So, yeah.
Right.
Let us know what you think. What do you think about this Lamar Jackson? I think he'll play in the playoffs. Part of me thinks he may not play and say, "Hey, look what you have without me." So, part of me thinks it's a negotiation ploy by him. He's his own agent. Like you said, I think he should find an agent, take himself out of that because it's kind of personal. If you're your own agent, you're doing your own negotiations. It gets too personal and it gets hard to really do a proper negotiation if you're the guy in the middle of your own negotiation.
Making those decisions and everything like that.
Yeah, that's rough. All right, so do we want to talk about that game? I feel like the Bengals are going to win that game easily without Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's going to be even that close.
That game, they got Cincinnati at 9 points right now. The Bengals may not cover.
I think they cover that. I think they cover.
Then they cover 9.
I think they win by 10, probably 14 points. I feel like the Bengals, they want to go out on a high note. Unless are they resting players? I don't think they're resting players.
No.
Yeah, because they still got a shot at that second place if the Bills end up losing. Because the Bills are playing the Patriots. The Patriots are trying to get for a playoff spot. So, you know what I'm saying? The Bengals want to win this game. So,
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Another topic real quick before we move on to the rest of these games this weekend. A lot of them having playoff implications. What about Jim Harbaugh possibly leaving Michigan and maybe going to Denver? Reports that he could go to Denver. Denver's reached out to him. Also, possibly Carolina. Do you think it's a good idea? Should Jim just stay? Should Harbaugh just stay in Michigan, or should he maybe pursue one of these NFL teams? He's already said that he's open. If someone offers us a job, he'd consider going to the NFL. What do you think?
Stay at Michigan, man. Stay.
So?
Even though right now they got like an NCAA violation on him.
Right.
Of doing hamburgers or something stupid.
It's just a little it's nothing serious, really, in the end. It's an investigation, but, it's nothing's come out of it yet.
If I'm him, bigger bucks. You have more influence. You can shape more. You can shape the team. You're back
at Michigan.
To an organization.
Yeah. Michigan. He has more control. He definitely has more control at Michigan than he would at an NFL team.
P 2 years in a row, bro.
Yeah.
Stay put. Because there's something that's
come back and try and get that national championship next year, maybe.
That's developing. Yeah. I would definitely stay. I wouldn't leave. So I wouldn't go anywhere that I got to do a lot of damage control, repair a lot of people. Now, a guy like Deion Sanders, he likes to do that. Went to Jackson State, repair training program.
Right.
Same thing he's going to do at Colorado, but he has more influence. I'm not influenced, but when you're going into an NFL organization, it's hard.
Right.
You got culture in a year, 2-3 years, man. And he's more recognized, and he can do more at Michigan.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think he should stay at Michigan. I could see him leaving, though. He's kind of one of those guys, about 5, 6, 7 years, he ends up, either the school's kind of getting tired of him or, the players. He just seems like a guy that moves around. He comes in, changes the program, turns it around, and then he gets out of there. But I don't know. He should stay at Michigan, come back and try and win the national championship there. That's his school. I don't know if he's getting along with the management there, but he does have a lot more control there in Michigan. And so we'll see what happens. All right, so a lot of playoff implication games. Let's talk about the Titans and the Jaguars.
8 o'clock tonight, baby.
It's a big game.
Yes, sir.
7 o'clock. Is it what is it tonight, right? Yeah, it is tonight. Yeah, so that's a big game. Playoff implications. Basically, this is for the division. Right now, the Jaguars are 6.5 point favorites. To me, that seems a little high. I know that the Titans have been struggling without Tannehill, but Dobbs has played really well. I think getting him another week in the system, I think they could. I think Vrabel is a coach that shows he can adjust and play well with a decent quarterback like he did. I think Tannehill and Dobbs are not that far apart, to be honest. I think Dobbs can manage that game, and hopefully they get the running game going. And I think that the Titans. I think that's a little big of a spread. I think it's closer to 6.5. But what do you think about this game? Who wins this game?
Man, this is gonna be tight, man. 6.5. I don't think they'll cover the 6.5 spread.
Yeah,
they're gonna be a close tie to Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars offense being able. I think the Jaguars defense will stand up. The Titans got too many broken pieces, man. Henry kind of out. You got a lot of injured guys on.
Still got Derrick Henry.
Is he playing? I don't have that kind of faith in Josh Dobbs, man. So I'm gonna roll 3, and they're playing at home.
He's still the Jaguars get back into the playoffs and beat the Titans. And part of me wants to go with the Titans. I feel like the Titans are they're going to come out and play hard. I mean, this is a division game. They're the champs basically. This is our division. You got to beat us, and so I feel like I need to play hard. They got that defense is fairly solid. It's not too bad. I mean, and the only thing that got me is Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been playing really well lately. The last few games, I think Trevor Lawrence. He helps. I think this is gonna be a 4-point game. That's my thought. I think the Jaguars do pull it off, but I feel like the Titans are gonna play this hard. I don't would be surprised if this goes into overtime and something like that. But this is gonna be a tight game. Highly
Did you say it's gonna be tight?
Huh?
It's gonna be tight.
I think it's gonna be a tight game. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes into overtime. And they win this in overtime. Oh, what happened? Yeah, so I still think I think the Jaguars will win this game, but I'm not sure. I don't think the spread. I don't think they beat the spread. So, you good? Good.
Yeah, my bad, bro. My bad. I'm here. Okay. My bad.
All right, man. All right, so let's talk about. Yeah, let's talk about. Yeah, I think they win in overtime. The Jaguars.
Okay.
That's kind of my call. Right? That's kind of how I see it right now because I feel like this is gonna be a really close game. Let's talk about another game like we were talking about. It has a lot of playoff implications, especially for the Patriots and the Bills. Bills are 7.5 point favorites. They're playing at home against the Patriots. They're at Orchard Park. What do you think here as far as the Patriots and the Bills? Do you think who wins that game? Patriots really need this game to be in the playoffs if they want to be in the playoffs. What do you think?
My thing is how my biggest thing is how are the Bills emotionally? How are the Bills emotionally? How is their week of training? How's their week of practice been? Where is their mental state of this organization at this point in time?
Right.
There, he's gotten better, but can they move beyond that to focus? That's the biggest
focus on the game
for me. Yeah, can they really into that game tomorrow and win?
Right. Yeah.
Because the 7th seed, right?
What's that?
If the Patriots win, they'll get the 7th.
Yeah, I think the Patriots they're in the 7th seed now, so they will end up playing them again in the playoffs.
They'll go right back to Buffalo next weekend.
Right.
Yeah. So
more than likely, I don't know if they flip flop because if Buffalo loses and Cincinnati wins, they'll both be 12-4. I don't know who wins that tiebreaker.
And then Cincinnati.
Huh?
pretty sure.
Cincinnati would end up playing the
I'm pretty sure.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, it feels like Josh has played better the last couple games, but for a while there, he was struggling. He was at 50, 60% completions. I mean, he did have a good game against the Rams. Completed 83% of his passes, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he still had 2 interceptions. I feel like Josh Allen, second half of the season, has not played as well as the beginning of the season. His percentages is down. He's turned the ball over more the last, 5, 6, 7 weeks. Like he had 3 games in a row where he had two interceptions, and for a stretch, and he's had one. Last 5 weeks he had one. Then the last 2 games, Miami and Tennessee, he didn't turn the ball over. He played well, I think, those 2 games, but then he had another 2 interceptions against the Rams. I feel like the Bills will pull this game off. I feel like they're gonna win it just because.
Close.
I feel.
Close.
I think they win it going away a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. If they win, I guess the Patriots are out, right? Unless some other stuff happens, some other teams lose. But
the Patriots.
They have to win to be in, right?
Patriots are the number 17 right now.
Right, but if they lose, and Miami wins, I think they're out, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they lose and then Miami's in, right? Or if they lose and Miami lose, then Pittsburgh's in, I think. Isn't that crazy if Pittsburgh went on the playoff? So if New England and Miami lose, then Pittsburgh gets in. If they win their game. So it's kind of a crazy thing. I think New England
now, let me ask you this question.
is going to play tough because they have to win this game to get in. But
now let me ask you this question. If Jags win that division, right?
Right.
So the Titans will host the number 5 seeded team, which right now is the
Chargers.
The Chargers team next weekend.
The Chargers, yeah. Jacksonville? Yeah.
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 And then the Ravens will go back. If the Ravens finish 3, if
they won't.
If the Bengals finish, the Ravens will go to the Bengals.
Yeah, the Ravens will play the Bengals again, but maybe Lamar Jackson plays, I believe.
If and then that means that the Ravens will go to Buffalo.
Then it'll be the Buffalo. Yeah, then it'll be Buffalo if Buffalo loses against New England.
And the Patriots go to Cincinnati.
Right. The Patriots will go to Cincinnati. I think Baltimore goes to Buffalo as the number 3 seed. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of things going to get shaken out here in this week. A lot of stuff could happen, especially at the bottom of that bracket. With Jacksonville. Well, Jacksonville, of course, with this game, Jacksonville could be out if they lose that game.
Yeah.
Could Jacksonville still make the number 7 seed if they lose, though? Is that possible? I don't even know if that's possible. If they lose that game, could they be a number 7 seed if New England loses? I mean, there's a lot of playoff scenarios there. Yeah, they'll be both 9 and 8. New England loses. What if Miami loses? It's Pittsburgh. Are they ahead of Pittsburgh?
I think so.
In the standings? I think they are.
So many different.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so many different scenarios there. So, but we both think kind of Jacksonville's going to pull that off. So we'll see what happens. I think that's going to be a tough game against the Chargers for Jacksonville in that first round. That's going to be a tough out. I think the Chargers have the advantage there. Even though they're going to Jacksonville, the Chargers, I think, have a better overall team. Mm-hmm. That'll be a good game. Herbert versus Lawrence, kind of the two young guns, in the AFC against each other. That should be a good game. But all right, so let's look at another game. Let's look at let's see, a playoff game, playoff implications. The Lions and the Packers. The Packers win, you're in. The Lions, everybody is taking the Packers, it seems like, and the Lions have been playing really well. I mean, isn't this a division game?
Division game.
Yeah, I mean it's a rivalry game. I don't know. What are you thinking on this game? A lot of people are already saying, "Hey, the Packers are in." Basically, I mean they're going to get in.
So that means that if the Packers get in, they'll be what seed?
Yeah, if the Packers get in, They'll be what, the 7th seed?
7 seed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Seattle out, and I think if who is it? Who did the Seahawks play? I think if Seattle wins, they're
Rams already
automatically Lions. Well, the Rams are, but I'm saying I think if Seattle wins, then the Detroit's automatically out. I think that's how it goes. I think that's the scenario. So, and they play the late game.
Seattle wins.
Yeah.
Seattle wins, the Rams are out.
So the Lions could be playing that game knowing that they're out of the playoffs. So does that matter, or do you think that doesn't really change anything as far as how they play? Because if Seattle wins, the Lions are out. It doesn't matter if they beat the Packers; they'll be out of the playoffs no matter what. Do you think that affects them, or do you think they play looser? Well, that's what I'm saying. The Lions will know by the time they play if they're in or out, if they have a shot to get in.
It won't matter.
It won't matter.
I don't think they're gonna care.
Yeah, you don't care. Okay. And do you think who pulls that game out? Packers are 4.5-point favorites. Who are you going for on that game? Who you think?
If it's a contender, if Seattle loses and that game comes out, I like the Lions defense. The Lions got offense.
So you don't believe in Aaron Rodgers? I mean, the game winning you're in. Aaron Rodgers is not gonna
choke. Yeah, they always choke, bro. He choke hardest. And even if he get in the beat, he's gonna have to play who's the 2 seeded in the NFC right now.
Huh? If they
will
get
have
in,
they'll have to go to 49ers. 49ers gonna beat them.
I don't know. I mean, he's playing Josh Purdy. I mean, the Packers have played pretty good.
Right.
Pretty good on defense. I mean, that would be a defensive battle, I think, because I think. I mean, they're going to scheme it up to beat Purdy. You know, make him try and win the game, and maybe make him because the last game he could have had 2 or 3 interceptions that were dropped. Purdy, he threw a couple of bad balls that could have been intercepted.
At this point, it doesn't matter if Dallas wins; it'll be 5. Period.
Huh?
It doesn't
if they win.
Matter if Dallas wins.
I mean, if they win and the Eagles lose, we're the number 1 seed we're the division winners.
Okay.
So we still got a shot.
That means that y'all wouldn't get a bye though.
We wouldn't necessarily. I don't know if we have the tiebreaker with San Francisco. Because we'd be both.
That means that.
But we'd at least be the number 2 seed, and we would probably play whoever number 7 is.
Ooh, that means Dallas get a home game.
We get a home game, right? But we wouldn't have a bye. But I don't know. Who knows? I say we win this game and just let it play out. If people are saying the Giants are going to play their starters in that game,
I'm going with the Giants. I think the Giants are going to beat Philly.
They're like 14.5-point underdogs in that game, though.
I'm going with the Giants, man.
Really?
The Giants, bro.
Okay. I mean, I hope so. That would be great. That'd be funny to me and great at the same time. But I mean, because we'd win the division. I don't know if we get first place, but we'd win the division.
Yeah.
I mean, because the Giants got nothing to play for. They're already in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, unless now Daboll was saying he's going to play his starters, but a lot of people are thinking that he's not going to. He may play them for a series and then pull them out. I don't know. The Giants don't have. The Eagles have something to play for. Do you think they should play Jalen Hurts in that game?
I would. I definitely would.
Really?
I think you're making a mistake if you don't.
And what if he gets re-injured? Then what?
Or what if you hold him out and he ain't by, you bring him back? You got a hot team that's coming out a playoff.
What if you what?
Win to come play you.
Hold him out and see how they're
playing. You
hold
him out. You get a bye, and you got a hot team that comes play playoff that beats up on somebody pretty bad in the wild card weekend. What do you do? You play him.
So what if they lose? They hold him out. They lose the number 1 seed. They drop to like number 5.
You play him.
Play him.
You play him tomorrow.
And lock up the number 1 seed.
Bro, if you don't play him, the Eagles. Somebody in the
if so, if they
somebody in the comments said play him on Facebook. I don't know who it is.
Okay, definitely play him.
They said, wouldn't make sense for you to sit him. You play him. Period.
Play him.
You don't play him.
I don't know. What if you? Okay, so if you play him and you win and he re-aggravates that, then what in the playoffs? You I guess you have to play him, but he's going to be injured. He's going to be compromised.
Flo, here's the thing. Dak Prescott's been out 2 weeks.
Right.
You got to put this guy in the shoot because I'm telling you, if you got a hot team in the
well here's the other scenario. If they play him and they lock up the division, at least he gets an extra week to get better because he's going to get a bye.
Man, forget, man. You play him, get the first seed, take the rest of the. You take him time to play.
Right.
Play him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see it. I see the benefits of both. So if they play Jalen Hurts, are you still with the Giants winning that game?
No. No.
So
No.
so if they play Jalen Hurts, you're saying the Giants are going to win. Yeah.
Bro, our son-in-law just said it. You play him. You play him. If they don't, of course I'm going with the Giants. The Giants are going to play their starters.
That's what they say. I don't know if they're going to play their starters.
Dayball is a fool.
Okay.
He's a fool.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
sixth.
I think they're going to play him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they rested him and say, hey, let's just go in the playoffs with, let's just go to the playoffs.
You got to play him the entire game, bro. I'm telling you.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
yeah, I think they play him just because think about it. All season long, you've been the number one seed pretty much most of the season, and then all of a sudden you drop to 5 in the seeding because you didn't play Jalen Hurts. Yeah.
So that means you guys will move up to 2, right?
1 or 2, depending on. I don't know what the tiebreaker is with the. I thought some people were saying that the Niners had to lose for us to be the number 1 seed. So I don't know. We'd be number 1 or 2 for sure. 1 or 2 for sure. So
the Niners got the Cardinals tomorrow. They'll probably beat them. I would play him, man. There's no question in my mind. I would play.
Yeah, I would play him too. I mean, let's see if they play him. I don't know if they play him. I feel like the Eagles are going to win that game. But part of me feels like if they play him, he's going to re-aggravate that shoulder. I feel like they're going to re-aggravate that shoulder if they play Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
That's just me.
Right now, he's questionable. He's questionable tomorrow.
Questionable? Yeah. I think they play him. That's just me. And I think he re-injures that shoulder. That's my. I think they win the game, but he's going to re-injure that shoulder. And then they're going to be in a world of hurt. Yeah.
You got to gamble, man. You got to gamble.
I mean,
or don't gamble with them.
You got to gamble. I think you do. I think you want to lock up that number 1. I don't know if they're toast because you do get that extra week to rest him. So maybe he gets ready for the playoffs by that time. So we'll see what happens. But I think if they play him, he's going to get re-injured. And they win the game, but I think he re-aggravates that shoulder.
Now,
I think he re-aggravates that shoulder if they play him. But because that's his throwing shoulder. I mean, he could easily re-aggravate that. Somebody grabs him as he's trying to throw it. Somebody lands on him. I mean, I feel like he's going to re-aggravate that shoulder. That's just me.
Yeah.
But and they win the game, and they be a number 1 seed, and you get the extra week. Maybe that you get him ready, and then you just. I mean, you're going to have to play him in the playoffs, even if he re-aggravates it.
Either way.
Yeah. You. Be good. All right. Any other game you want to talk about this coming up this weekend? I
mean, the Falcons going to win tomorrow. Tampa Bay ain't going to play their people. So.
Yeah, Falcons are going to win. You guys have 7-10. Yeah, Tampa Bay's already locked it. They got nothing to play for at all. They already got the number 1 seed. They got the division. We got to win for sure. Aren't the Commanders playing a third stringer or something? At quarterback? They're playing.
I think the Vikings are going to lose tomorrow too. I don't think the Vikings are going to
lose.
Well, no, the Vikings got to play tomorrow. I take that back.
Yeah, the
Vikings.
The Commanders playing Sam Howell. So yeah, I feel like
they ain't gonna win.
I feel like in that game. What do you think about? And he didn't know he could get eliminated last week when he played. They're like, "Why'd you play Carson Wentz? And why didn't you just change it out? You know, and knowing you could get eliminated if you lose this game." And he was like, "We can get eliminated." Like he didn't know.
Crazy. Crazy.
How do you not know you could get eliminated? That don't make sense. Anyway, that doesn't look good. That was a bad look for him last week. Yeah.
It was.
So, yeah, Cowboys should win. Seahawks. I mean, the Rams are going to be playing loose. Baker Mayfield's been playing pretty well. Do you think the Seattle could possibly lose that game?
What's the spread on that game? They got Seattle.
It's 6 points. Yeah. Do you think Seattle could
I
lose
like the
that
Rams
game?
in an upset.
Upset alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see the Rams winning that game.
What time does
Upset alert.
does got a playoff spot? Denver Broncos.
What's that?
Broncos. The Denver.
Yeah, they play the Chargers.
Playoff.
What?
Are the Denver Broncos off?
They're like 4-12, bro. They're not in the playoff.
You got to ask Jake.
Jake Montoya. Has anybody seen Jake Montoya? Jake Montoya.
We ain't heard from him now.
Remember he started out the season, Super Bowl goals. The season.
Crazy, man. That man.
Didn't he lose a bet to you or something? Didn't he lose a bet now?
Yeah, I ain't heard from him.
Didn't y'all bet something about the playoffs or the Broncos or something?
Yeah, I ain't nowhere to be found.
I mean, to be honest, y'all even got a better record than they do. Y'all be 7-10 probably. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That'll be what? 4 and what?
4-12. They'll be 4-13 if they lose. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to lose against the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers have anything to play for, so they may not play their starters. So Broncos got a shot at winning this game, I think. I mean, because I don't think the Chargers are going to play all their starters all game. They're in the playoffs. I think they're already locked in. So we'll see. A lot of good games coming up. And you think the Raiders are going to win today? Is that what you're saying? Beat the Chiefs?
I like the Raiders upset over the Chiefs. Raiders upset. Raiders upset.
Jared Stidham is going to beat Patrick Mahomes. Okay. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think it'll be closer than the 9 points. I think the Raiders cover. I think it'll be because it's a division game, kind of a rivalry thing. You know, the Chiefs need to lock this game up though, so I don't see them losing.
They better
put that?
Win. They got to win. They need this.
Is that Elias?
You see, like
the Raiders
over Chiefs. I told you, bro. Mahomes gonna play one half, and then they gonna see.
No, I don't think so. They got to lock it up. They got to lock up first place. I don't think so. I think they play him the whole game unless they're way ahead of time. Unless they're way ahead by halftime, they got to play Mahomes pretty much the whole game. Hey, what's the chances? Hey, give me the chances that because they've seen it. I mean, it's been kind of talked about all year. You know, especially among Chiefs fans. Are we going to see the behind the back pass this game?
Don't do it.
I think we see it. If they get up by 10 or 14, we see the behind the back pass in this game.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I see him. I think they try to pull off that behind the back pass somewhere in around the goal line.
We'll see.
It'd be fun though. It'd be a nice little highlight. All right. Any other game? Anything else you want to talk about? What's happened?
Behind the back pass.
He said what?
He said we will see the behind the back pass.
We will see it. I hope so. That'd be fun. Don't you think that'd be fun? It'd be fun to see that.
I If they
I mean,
blow
you
them,
never see. I've never seen it in the game. It'd be fun to see that.
Gonna be good, man.
Any other games you want to talk about or anything? Any other games, Steve?
Man, just ready for the night tonight.
Yeah. Be some good games. I got to work tonight. I'll be watching on my.
Not working Monday. I ain't not working Monday.
Hey, Monday, maybe we do a game. We do a Monday. We do something Monday. Pre-game.
Monday, let's do
A pre-game before that. Hey, we'll discuss it. We'll go in detail about the national championship game.
Yeah.
Maybe we get some people come in and talk about it. Maybe we get Fitz or somebody. Or we get a Hurd. Maybe we get Terrence Hurd to come in and talk about it. He's an Alabama fan.
He ain't got no dog in the fight.
He ain't got no dog in the fight. He's still upset. He's salty. Terrence Hurd's salty.
They have not won a back-to-back championship for years.
Yeah.
We about to do it, though.
Back to back. Hey, thanks for joining the show. I appreciate you guys. All right, man. We'll see you next time. Hey, like, share, subscribe. We thank all the new members, 150 new members in the last week. Appreciate you guys. Share this page, share this content. Somebody said Georgia by 50. Oh.
By 50.
I don't think so. All right, man. We'll see you next time.
I'll see you Monday, bro.
Bottom line, man. We'll see you Monday. We'll do a pregame show.
All right. Monday.
All right, man.
Hey. All right, bro. See you later.